Hey there, first door on the left. I'm John, this is my son Paul.
Yes, I am.
Today, you are Paul.
Yeah.
Today is World String Change Day, apparently. So we're gonna change strings.
Yep.
We also got a visitor with us named Banjo, and he's going to be assisting us.
We're not going to change his strings today. So,
have long
anyway,
strings.
we talked recently on the podcast about how I switched back from using the luthier knot, and I'm sure we'll get some hate mail from this. But I switched back to what I was typically doing with string changes, and for me personally, better results. I've heard arguments against my technique for sure, but I've never had problems with it in my 30-ish years of playing. So, without further ado, we're going to put on some D'Addario coated phosphor bronze extended plays on a Guild acoustic guitar, which happens to be Paul's guitar.
Yeah. These are my strings at the moment, and they will look way better.
Oh, these are nasty. These are rusty. These are grimy. Paul has trouble keeping his strings clean for some reason. So anyway, we're going to change these out. And so one of the tools you want to have is a string winder. I really like this one. It has a built-in clipper, so you can give it a haircut at the end as well. And we're going to clean up the guitar in the process as well. I really like D'Addario strings. They give you a code on each pack for rewards, and
If you're
that
trying
comes
to,
in handy.
If you're trying to put the code in right now, it's already entered, so
It's already used, so have fun with that. Anyway, we're going to rip into these. These are all color-coded to help you know where they go. And we're going to start putting them on one by one, starting with the low strings. So I always like to make sure my peg holes are pointed straight down the neck towards the bridge. It's where I like to start. This one is not. Get that flipped around. This is the most controversial part of the video, but it's what works for me. Straight through the hole. I pinch the string at about 2.5 inches, somewhere in there, and then slide it straight back, and then I just bend it real hard. Just bend it. You don't have to tie a knot, don't have to do anything like that. You can. There's a lot of different ways probably to put on strings. This is how I do it. Never had a problem with string slippage, which is usually the top argument I get against putting my strings on this way, but it works just fine. Never had any issues with it. So changing your strings can be a frustrating process, but it doesn't have to be. But probably the first 10 times you do it or so, it will be a little bit frustrating. It might take you a long time. The first time I ever changed my own strings, it maybe took me about an hour, and I was frustrated. But when I used to pay someone else to put my strings on each and every time, it was about $20 or more each time. So it's a big money savings to do this yourself, and it also just helps you to know a little bit more about your own instrument, which is a plus. So these last two strings are always the most frustrating because they are the only two strings on an acoustic, at least, that aren't wound. And so there's really no grip on those. There's nothing to hold on to. And so those get pretty frustrating. Overall, a string change, once you get pretty good at doing it, once you get in kind of your own groove, should take you about 15 to 20 minutes. And you'll get so much joy out of your instrument after you're changing the strings. It just sounds so much better and projects so much better. So once I get a couple of windings on the post on these smaller strings, I like to put some pressure, as much pressure as I can, downward pressure on the string to keep those windings going below that top one, and then I'll move up into the frets so I can get a little more even grip on the string there. Alright, so as we saved a little bit of time, I went ahead, what I usually do is tune it up to pitch 2 times. The reason I do it 2 times is because it takes a while to get it up that first time to pitch, and then by the time you get it up that first time, then all of the strings automatically need to be retuned again. So by the time I put all of these up to pitch, my low E was all the way back down to a D. The other thing I do as I'm tightening those strings the first time, I keep my palm resting on top of the bridge pins, just in case they would happen to try to slip up or out. So I try to keep some downward pressure on those. And what I'm going to do now is stretch the strings, because currently they sound decent, but as soon as I start putting some stretching to them, they're going to go right back out of tune, but better now than an hour from now when I'm trying to play and have fun and actually perform.
when I'm trying to play.
Now listen to that same G. All right.
That's
Cut it.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say that you should totally check out me and my dad's podcast. It's called First Door on the Left. You can find it on most streaming platforms, and yeah, I think you guys will like it.